Welcome to this session on SQL pooling. Typically, when you use DB connections for MySQL using Node, you would have to establish a connection, fire a query, get the results, and then close the connection. This establishing and closing the connection is an expensive operation. Now, this is still okay if you have only one or few client devices, but when you have many devices requesting resources from the database, this operation may become too expensive for your system. In that case, MySQL gives you a provision of something called a connection pool, which establishes multiple connections with the databases, and for a given query can potentially query the database using one of the connection pool threads. This is a more effective way of connecting to a database, especially when you want to scale. Now let's look at the code for this. We're going to open up the terminal window. Okay, open Visual Studio. All right, so here under source, we have the app.js. Then we have under API index.js. We are calling a file an object called tutor. Okay, and inside tutor.js, you will see all our routes. Okay, so first route is get all the data. Let us first see how the connection is made. Here we have the pool database.js. Here, if you see, we have first called our MySQL, then util. Then this is the declaration of the pool. We give the host, user, password, and database details using a env file. Okay, this is our AWS instance of MySQL. Let's go back. Then we try and connect to the pool. If the pool connection is made, we basically return the pool object. Okay. Now let's go to our tutor.js. So here you see we import our pool. We also declare a UUID, which is a unique identifier for a resource. This is something that we will use when we are inserting new data. Okay, let's look at this get route option. It's an async method. Here we write pool.query, and inside that pool.query we give the SQL statement. Again, if there's an error, we send the error. Otherwise, we give the result. Let's test this. npm run def. Okay, pool connected. You'll see the message here. Now let's open Insomnia. So we have a get message here. HTTP localhost 5000 API v1 tutor. Let's hit send. You'll see all the resources have come. Now let's go back to our code. Let's go down below and we'll come back to these parts. Okay. Now let's say we want to get just one specific resource, right? So we have router.get/id. Here we first get the ID parameter sent. Then basically again we do pool.query, select star from database.table name where teacher ID equals to ID. Okay. So for that, let's take one ID from here. Let's say Paul is there. Let's give the ID here and send. And you see one particular resource has come back. Okay. Now let's say we want to create a resource. So in route.post, we first get a unique ID. Then again we do pool.query, and in the insert statement, we collect all the parameters. Okay. Again, if there's an error, we return the error, or we basically send a message data inserted successfully. Okay. Now let's test this. We have a JSON file. Let's take a template from here. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go to Insomnia, do a post. Okay. JSON body. Okay. Here, let's say we say this is John 3, Mechana 3. Okay. We remove the ID from here. Okay. In the header, we just have to say content type is application /JSON. Okay. We should be ready for this. Submit, and we see data inserted successfully. Okay. So in order to check what data has been inserted, we can go open our MySQL workbench. and basically write SQL star from table name where first name equals to what is it that we're given, John 3. Let's come back, check, fire. We should get our entry John 3, McKenna 3. Okay, and this is the ID. So if you want to take the ID, go and check in Insomnia. Again, we can do a get method. Okay, and send, and we have the results here. Okay, now let's look at an update statement. So we have router.put. Okay, so we again take the ID from the request. We first check if the ID exists or not. Then if not, we give an error. If the ID does exist, then we fire an update statement where we update all the parameters that are required. Okay. Again, if the update gives an error from the database, we return that, or we say data updated successfully, and then we close out. Okay. Let's check this. We go to Insomnia. We say put. We have this ID already collected. Let's make this 4. Okay, and hit submit. Data updated successfully. Let's go back to get with the same ID, and here you see John 4 and McKenna 4 has been updated. Similarly, we have the delete option where again we first get the ID. We first check if the ID is present or not. If present, we run the delete command into the database. If successful, we send this message saying data deleted successfully. Okay, let's go back to Insomnia. Instead of get, we do a delete with the same ID, submit, it's gone, right? So now if we do a get with the same ID, we should not get any results. We get blank data. Okay, all right. Now let's look at 2 more queries. One where we want to give or specify where clauses, and second where we want to do aggregations. Okay. For the where clause, we can do a simple where clause if we know the fields. But since there are many fields, what we can potentially do is pass a key name and a key value, and also give some pagination information. Okay. So let's say we just want to see if the first name, what are the records which are first name as John. Okay. Here the route we have given is /search. So we come here, we change this to first name, key value, and key type as 1, right? We remove the ID from here, do a get, and we have to add a search keyword. Okay, let's check once more. We have to give the key type as 1. Okay, based on key type, the query will be formed. After that, at the end, basically there's a await statement where we do a pool.query. We fire the query and return the result. Okay, let's go to Insomnia. Okay, let's fire this. And you see all the results where first name is John has come up. Okay, let's go back to the code. Let's say we want to search. So in the switch case, basically for the first case 1, 2, 3, we're doing, or 4, we're doing string-based comparisons. In 5, 6, and 7, we're doing number checks, and 8, 9, 10, we're doing some date combination checks. All right, now this is where we've done a simple where clause. The user may also want to do a group by clause, right? We have added, to simulate that, we have added a route called group. Here we'll simulate some aggregation logic. Okay, in similar to switch casing, we are aggregating either on key, and we are either doing a count, sum, max, min, and average, or we may also be using an having clause later, right, to restrict the filter cases. And here we can have a key name, a key type, a filter name, and a filter value. Okay, let us just simulate the first one. We will change this to group, take the value, and say, okay, based on gender, give me the count. Okay, also, so you will see here we've got male and total count of 279. let's pick another field. Let's say first name. Let's see what are all the possible first names we have. So we have Paul, John, Arjun, and Jay here, right? So we can do any kind of aggregate function querying also using pooling. Okay. And similarly in the group also, if you see, basically we are forming the query first, then coming here, finding the query in the database. If there's an error, returning the error, otherwise returning the confirmed result back. Okay. All right. That's about it for pooling. I hope you liked the video. I'll see you in the next one.